Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Benetti. Welcome to Second Sight NYC. It's Wednesday, September 22nd. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm here with my co-host, psychic medium, Chris George. Hi, Chris. How are you this evening?
I'm doing very good, Steph. How are you?
Fantastic.
All right. So, I think we should start the show off by thanking our last guest, who was absolutely fantastic.
Laura Catchledge.
Laura Catchledge. I don't know if you're listening, Laura, but if you are, we just want to, say thank you once again. We got a lot of great feedback on our show last week, and we really think you did a fantastic job. So we just wanted to thank you again.
And we also just wanted to mention a friend of ours, Beatrice Rivas.
Right. She's one of our main investigators on our paranormal team, Second Sight Paranormal. She went in today for some open heart surgery, and it was a success, and we just want to send out healing energy to her and wish her well. So we received lots of emails and so many callers last week. We can't always get to the calls, but you can always contact us after the show on Blog Talk Radio or Facebook under Sec Sight Para, or myself, Stephanie Benetti, or Chris George Cirillo. And you can always contact us on our website, www.secondsightnyc.webs.com. Yeah, we have a great show ahead for you guys tonight. First of all, let me say that we have the Halloween investigation coming up, October 30th, going into the 31st. It's going to start at 10 o'clock and go into Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. I'm doing a big psychic night at the Vanderbilt on Staten Island on September 14th.
No. It's past September 14th.
Right, October 14th. October 14th, right. I'm also going to be at Trent's Restaurant this Monday. It's in Staten Island for psychic reading and dinner.
That's on the 27th of September.
Right, that's always a lot of fun. And we also just added something to our, upcoming events, a cemetery investigation here in Staten Island, St. Andrew's Cemetery on October 29th. It's going to be a lot of fun, so if you guys are interested, contact us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, though.
I also believe you'll publish some of these events on Facebook for folks.
Yeah, we'll publish everything.
So we received a few emails, I believe 3 that we have time for. Aside from that, we have a guest tonight, Gloria Waslin.
Gloria Waslin, she got a pretty interesting story.
Her experiences in the past with you. And I'd just like to jump into an email. One of the first emails we received was a girl named Zachary, and she wanted to know about her finances.
Yeah, Zachary was on the show last week, but we didn't get to speak to her because we ran out of time. So she emailed us this question. And, all right, Zachary, you ready for this? Unfortunately, I see you struggling financially for about another year. It will change. It won't change dramatically, but it will change in a positive way. I see you working with people, either in teaching or in the medical field, most likely nursing. I'm pretty much seeing you in like a nurse's uniform, so maybe that's something you should be thinking about if you haven't already thought about it. I think it's definitely in the future. Be careful with your take no crap attitude, because it's going to come back to bite you. You know what I mean about that. You catch a lot more flies with honey, okay? You need to stay positive. Be the strong person you are, and know that it's going to get better. You asked me if you can hit the lottery. Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. As I was meditating on you, the angel of guidance kept coming to me, angel of guidance. And the angel of guidance is an angel named Sariel. You might want to Google that, Sariel. He is the angel of guidance, and call upon him because he'll be there to help you. Okay? That's my first reading of the night, Steph.
Would you like to do a second one before we take our guest?
Yeah, why not? Why
sure.
not?
So the second email we received was Mitch. He's from Staten Island, where we are, and he wanted to know, is his wife cheating? Which is always a question.
Yeah, that's one that I hate answering usually.
His job status, and I guess any insight you would have in terms of the future.
Yeah, Mitch was interesting. I actually met him in the street, and we started talking, and I told him about the show, and he started asking me questions. And it's hard for me to answer everybody's questions in the street. First of all, I really don't like to do it like that. So I told him, I said, email me your question, let me meditate on it and see what I get. So I know he's listening tonight. So Mitch, here's my answer. Unfortunately, yes, your wife is cheating. Again, I really hate when I have to break that type of news. The name Robert is what comes to me very, very strongly, and here's the kicker. He's a co-worker of either you or your wife. He goes by the name of Bobby, so that should help you narrow it down on exactly who it is. I don't always get names, but every now and then I do, and in this case it came in actually very strongly for me, so I would absolutely stand by that, okay? I think it's been going on for about 6 months. And if you think back 6 months, you're going to definitely realize that that's about the time she started to change. You knew it then, but you just never challenged her on it. So she felt like she was basically in the clear. Think about it. Think back 6 months, if you can in your mind, and you will absolutely see that that's when the change occurred, 6 months ago. Okay. Now it's out of control, unfortunately. He may not be somebody you consider a friend, but you definitely know him, okay? That's always the worst, I think. I mean, it's not bad enough that somebody is cheating on you, but then to actually know the person that, your loved one is cheating with, really stinks. So I'm sorry for you for that. I believe in her mind, she blames you. She feels like, you took her for granted for the last few years, and that pushed her towards cheating. When you confront her, and I believe it will be if you hear this reading, I think that's exactly what she's going to say to you, that you pushed her towards this because, you just took her for granted for a few years. Again, I don't like saying that, but I have to. I feel you still love her, but I think she's mentally moved on. Again, sorry for that. I think a split is inevitable, and as for your future, I see you reconnecting with somebody from your past. And the person from your past, I believe it's a friend that you probably feel like you should have dated, but at the time you felt funny because you guys were such good friends. I believe this is going back to in your high school years, okay? Your job status, I see no change, and you know what? Sometimes that's a good thing, and I believe for you it is a good thing. So that's my reading, Mitch. If you see me in the street, don't punch me for giving you that information, because I'll probably punch you back, but that's another story. I hope I've been helpful. Let me know how things are. If you want to email me again, and just keep in touch, and I hope things work out for you. I believe they will, because I think that the person that's going to be coming into your life is really going to be, it's going to be somebody that, like I said, that you knew from your past. I believe like a high school sweetheart, best friend type of person, where when you're younger, you don't like to date your friends, and I believe that she was your friend and a good friend, somebody who was always there for you, and in your hard times, she'll be there for you again. And the good thing about this is she's going to need somebody to lean on also. I don't know exactly what her story is, but I know she's going to need somebody to lean on. And like I said, I met you the other day, and you're a big, strong guy. I think that you'll be the perfect person for her to lean on, but at the same time, don't be afraid to lean on her, because I think that's why she's coming back into your life, okay? It'll be a good thing.
Please provide some feedback, whether it's true or good, bad, or indifferent for that matter, of both Zachary and Mitch. Right. That would be helpful.
We got one email from Dee from Brooklyn. Do you want to talk about that now or later on in the show?
You can mention it really fast. We're going to bring on Gloria.
All right, well, why don't we do Gloria, and then we'll talk about Dee from Brooklyn.
Would you like to give any background behind?
I think maybe it'd be better for her to give the background. I met her, I'm guessing, about 2 years ago. A friend of mine, who's actually one of my mentors, her name is Marilyn, brought her to, I believe, my seance or healing circle. I don't remember exactly how we met, but she came to one of my events, and we've basically been in each other's lives since then. I've helped her through a few things, and Very, very nice woman. So why don't we bring her on?
Let's welcome Gloria. Hi, Gloria. Are you with us?
Hello. It's so nice to talk to you, Gloria. What's going on?
Did we lose her? Hello?
Oh, no, we lost her.
It looks like her cell phone cut out.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get her back in a minute, I'm sure.
Okay.
I think
Hello?
We're having bad weather here in New York. I think it might be affecting our phone somewhat. So, Gloria, if you're there, don't hang up. I'm sure you'll pop up in a minute. And while Stephanie's working on that, I will give you guys a little bit on Dee from Brooklyn. Dee from Brooklyn, I really don't know her. We've had some talks over the last, I don't know, maybe year or so, and she, let me give you some background on Dee. About 4 years ago, she was a Victoria's Secret model, okay? Right after that, she actually did Playboy. Very beautiful woman. Right after that, I don't know if you guys read Maxim magazine, but she came in second in the Hometown Hottie sweepstakes on Maxim magazine. So we're talking about a really beautiful girl here, okay? She emails me the other day and tells me, this is for real. I want your psychic insight on this. And I'm like, okay, well, what's Dee going to ask me, So she says, Chris, maybe you're not going to believe me, but this is the God's honest truth. You kind of know me through email and giving me readings here and there. You know the type of person I am, the type of people that I like, the type of people I hang out with, the places I've been, so on and so forth. I mean, the woman's been all over the world. She's been all over. And what happened was she sent me an email telling me that she's in love with a little person. So, and that's basically what she said. So I emailed her back. I said, what do you mean a little person? Somebody who's short? And she emails me back, and she says, no, a little person. She says, I don't like to use the M word, but he's a little person. So I'm like, okay, what do you want to, where are you going with this? I'm asking her. So she tells me she believes that she's in love with this little person. And so she wanted to basically know if I thought that things can work out between them. Well, Dee from Brooklyn, here's my answer. Do I think things can work out for you? Absolutely. I mean, obviously you're going to probably go through some, funny looks and whatnot, but you know what? This relationship is going to hinge on you. If you can deal with the looks and probably some comments that you'll hear, I think you guys could withstand it. I actually see you guys together for quite some time. You sent me a picture of him, and your colors seem to mix together nicely. So my answer to you is yes, I think that you and this little person can withstand all the obstacles out there and have a nice little life together. So hope I was helpful to you.
Hopefully that was insightful. I'm going to try to pick up Gloria again. I see she called from another line this time. Gloria.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Gloria. Are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
hear
can.
you perfectly.
Great.
So, Gloria, maybe you could let the people know how we met.
I would be delighted.
My
father, Nick Waslin, had a car accident, and my friend Marilyn knew I was very distressed. My birds and I were scheduled to go and participate in an annual event to celebrate International Peace Day, and I told Marilyn I could not come because I had to be at the hospital with my father. And she said, there's only one person that I know in the entire universe that could be helpful to you, and that is my friend, Chris George. And she urged me to leave the hospital for a short amount of time and come to a program at the Meta Center in Manhattan where you were going to be featured, and that we would be able to have 5 or 10 minutes private consultation, and then I could get back to the hospital. So when I did show up, you said, something very interesting. You said, your father looks very good for his, no, you said, your father, Nick, is 87 years old and had a car accident and broke his spine, and they're looking to do 2 surgeries. Let them know that he cannot sustain another surgery, so he needs quality of life. And I said, well, my dad is actually 86. And you said, he looks pretty good for his age. And you volunteered to come out to the hospital and visit him several times. And my father does not believe in psychics. He was most delighted when you did show up and you channeled a former aspect of your personality self, Chang, who is a several hundred year old Chinese healer.
Correct.
And infused my father with energy. He really appreciated it.
Well, I remember that so clearly because I remember I was a little bit nervous because the nurses were walking by, doctors were walking by, and here I am in a hospital room with somebody I had never met before, actually channeling spirit in a hospital and doing healing work on him, which I had never channeled a spirit in a hospital before. And that was actually my first time. I've done a lot of healing on people, many times. I mean, it's one of the main things that I do, and to actually channel in a hospital was kind of odd. And you kept saying, don't worry about it. I'll keep them out. I'll keep them out. Do you remember that?
Of course I do. And he really responded because you had a big sports jersey, and my father was an athlete and liked the fact that you were a big set guy with a sports thing on, so it wasn't like you had some kind of a yoga outfit on or something that would be a little bit too spirit for him. So he liked you very much.
I remember that. And how many healers come in with a football jersey on? Not many.
Exactly.
So after that, I think I came up there 2 or 3 times, I believe.
Yes, you did, and he improved significantly with each visit and looked forward to seeing you very, very much.
Okay, let's fast forward it a little bit now, because the next time I was doing a live seance on a TV show in Staten Island. It was an hour and a half special. First time anybody had ever done a real live seance on TV in Staten Island before. And maybe you'd like to talk about what happened that night.
Right. You were scheduled to come and see my father on October 30th, which happened to have been a Monday night. And I called you at noon when we got word from the hospital that he had just stopped breathing. And my sister and I were on our way to the hospital to do whatever was necessary to attend to my father and all of that. So I called you and asked you not to come to the hospital since he had passed on, but to please light a candle and think of him, because there was already the intention in his mind that he would be communicating with you and you'd give him energy.
Right.
So the following day was October 31st. Sometimes people call it Halloween. And you were on a television show. And at the end of the television show, and you gave me the video recording of it, was a very interesting phenomenon. You blinked your eyes a few times and you said, "This is Nick Waslin. Write this down. Please tell my daughter Gloria I am fine, and to name the baby bird after me." Now, what was interesting was during the time that my father was in the hospital, I have 2 parrots, commonly known as the Parrots for Peace, and they do a lot of peace and ecology events, and they had laid an egg. I had no confidence whatsoever that the egg would be able to hatch in an inhospitable domestic situation that wasn't prepared for breeding. But a couple of weeks later, the egg did hatch, and Peace Nick, the first son, named after my father, Nick, Peace Nick, is going to be 2 years old this November 16th, which is quite phenomenal. Right. And at a seance that you gave, I guess, I came to the seance with my sister, and my father's girlfriend, and I had the opportunity to channel my mother at one point in one of your seances where you...
Yeah, I remember that clearly. I remember the spirit came around and held you and helped you to channel, and you actually channeled that night. That was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Was that your first seance?
It was my first seance, and I was very interested to hear what my father might have to say since he came through so strongly on television with Chris. And
let me just say one thing, Gloria. A lot of times when people come to the seances, they want to hear from specific spirits. I don't have the ability to channel any spirit. You know, when the spirit wants to come through, they do. For instance, my grandfather, who was very, very close to me, died many years ago, and I've channeled thousands of spirits, okay? I've never been able to channel my grandfather. Why? I don't know. It's very frustrating to me, but I haven't been able to. So I have no control over which spirit is going to come through, okay? So when she came and wanted her father to come through, I remember telling you, I can't promise you. I said I can try, but I can't promise. And then, go ahead, you could take over from there.
Well, I think he wanted very much to communicate because my sister, Julie, has a friend, Barbara, who lives in Utah and is a psychic. And when my father passed on, my sister called her friend Barbara, who got a message from my father also. And he showed her physically by aches and pains in her body or feelings in her own body what happened. And he was supposed to have gotten up and gotten soup, and the hospital didn't clear his airway. And he had some phlegm that had lodged in his throat. And actually, when he was looking distressed, they paddled him, thinking he was having a heart attack, and it was really just that he needed his airway cleared. So he showed her that he died by jumping out of his body in fright from the paddling, that it hurt as an intensive shock, and he didn't know how to get back into his body. So he did not expect to pass on. He quite honestly expected to come home and watch Oprah in a special jacket that had been designed for him to assist his back. Right. So I think he wasn't prepared. He was expecting to come home. So he really did want to urgently communicate with us.
And if I remember correctly from watching the video, he came through pretty strongly that first time.
He came through very strongly. He was holding his girlfriend, Susanna. You felt it. Other people who were more sensitive were able to sense his presence. And Susanna actually has had many communications in what would be commonly called dream time, but he's spoken to her at significant moments to comfort her, let her know what was happening and all of that. So he's very much an angel guide to her. My sister's had a few dreams of him, and I would imagine my brother in Florida has, although he might not speak as openly about it. My sense is that he really likes you, Chris, and feels very comfortable to speak through you because the two of you share so much in common. You're a family person with kids, and he could identify with you as a guy and all of that. So he really liked your sense of humor and your generosity because he was the same way. He would do anything to help anybody. And I think he appreciated that in his time of need, somebody was there for him in the way he would have been there. So,
thank you.
Yeah. And many of the seances I've come to with you in future times, he has come through. And
well, let me ask you something, Gloria. When the first time he came through, and you actually see me channel him that first time, what was going through your mind, you, your sister, and his girlfriend? I mean, was there any doubt that it was him? Was there something specific that he said?
Or I guess a better question would be, how is it in your mind confirmed that it was him?
That's a good question.
There are signatures of consistent behavior or ways that somebody expresses things that my sense of it was that he would have done this in life. So I've come to think about this in a different way since the seances quantum physics talks about waves and particles is the same. One is kind of the dark, unexpressed energy of pure potential. The other is the physical manifestation of it. So in life, in his physical form, he behaved a certain way. In the spirit form, in his light body, where we can't physically see him, he seemed to be expressing through you the same things that he would have done if he were physically present. So he behaved in the same way. Mannerisms, what Chris did in the seance was first identify what my father, Nick, was doing, because he could see him standing behind his beloved Susanna and holding her and caressing her. And my sister was able to feel, since she was next to Susanna, his presence also. There was a slight temperature difference, and there was something in the air that she felt, that she noticed. And
now, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there somebody at that seance that your father through me took like a, I don't know if it was a liking to, or felt like this person needed a message and just really like kind of laid into him, kind of?
Yeah, there were actually many seances, I think 3 or 4 seances that I've come to where my father did show up for me, but I wasn't the prime person that he showed up to talk to. He was actually an ally to you, working with you to give sort of tough love messages, and they were primarily to guys. Yeah, they were primarily to guys.
Really?
You know, straighten out. There was some young man who was having, I guess he was an older teenager, having some issues around studying and work, and my father laid into him as though he were...
That was a glitch.
Right.
That glitch is a kid who actually comes to my psychic development classes now. He's not a kid. He's 21 years old, but he comes to my psychic development classes, and your father, for whatever reason, really just kind of tried to give him some type of, how would you say it? He really wanted to give him a message and help him along in life. And did it help? I don't know. I know that night the kid was like, wow, that spirit really told me some things that I needed to hear. I remember that. Right.
There was nothing gentle about him. Somehow I expected my father to be really soft and angelic now that he left his body, but he was the same. And he always spoke his mind. So it was accurate and good, and there was no soft edges. It was my father, just without his body.
Right. Wow. This is interesting. Well, for me, I live it every day in my life, and I'm sure the people listening, it's very interesting for them. What do you think about it, Steph?
I think it's pretty phenomenal. She's confirming her father's mannerisms and behavior, and the same after passing as when he was alive. You wouldn't know that.
Right. I wouldn't know any of that, because when I met her father, he didn't speak at all. He was just basically lying in a hospital bed, and I had to take his hand and move, and he really wasn't
knowledge
moving at all.
of him. Right. You had no knowledge of him in his healthy state before the accident.
The most I got from him was some, like with his eyes, like trying to talk to me with his eyes, and so I really didn't know, how he was, how he acted, or anything like that. And then, when I channeled him, I guess apparently I did things, the way that he would, and I think that's just interesting. I think people would be very interested in the whole seance thing.
Right.
Maybe you can help me out here, because people hear the word seance and immediately think, "Ooh, it's evil, it's scary."
No, I would change the word. I think seance has a particular connotation with witchcraft and weird stuff that is misunderstood. I think what you did, Chris, was you established a safe space, almost like psychotherapy or hypnotherapy, where somebody is able to relax and get to their deeper level, and it permits them to slow down and experience spirit that's always there communicating all the time. It's just that we're not in our state to sense it.
Right.
And
well, you know what? In our psychic development classes, we're actually helping people get to that space that you're talking about, to where they can actually get the messages themselves. And I'm in the process of teaching a bunch of people, actually how to channel now. So,
sure, it would be like a master teacher teaching artists how to paint.
Right,
and
my goal.
techniques. Yeah.
My goal is to have people be able to get their own messages. You know, I want people to get their own messages because everybody can. They just have to learn how to do it. Now, I don't believe everybody, you know, is going to be able to trans-channel like me, but trans-channeling is just one form of channeling. You know, there's spoken word channeling where people just get the message and they speak it as themselves. There's tapping where you get the message and you just tap yes or no with taps. There's automatic writing, of course, and then there's trans-channeling, which I do all of them, but what I'm personally known for is the trans-channeling. I don't think everybody will be able to do it that I teach, but in my experience with teaching these classes, everybody actually starts getting messages after 2 or 3 classes. So it's one of my goals to actually teach people how to do this in one form or another. Right.
It's becoming more sensitized to the whole brain and the whole aspect of life. Just like there's nighttime, there's daytime. There's sleep time and there's waking time. The same metaphor holds forth in life experience. There is no energy that gets created or destroyed. It just transforms its state. And what you allow people to understand is that even if somebody has left their physical body, it's not that different than talking to somebody on a telephone, and it would probably be just as weird before Alexander Graham Bell and his predecessor, who actually was the first to create the telephone idea, but that's a different story. But the notion that people would think that a telephone was just as unconventional as psychic channeling, because if you didn't have somebody talking to you, how could you hear someone over the wires, right?
Right. Have
so
you
this
received
is really
any
the same
messages
thing.
Since? Have you received any messages since?
I consider that I have a normal amount of intuition, and sometimes I get impressions or ideas that are probably gifts from my father or mother. I can't tell specifically who it might be from. If it's from anybody, it might even be just from my inner self. I'm not sure where they come from, but I do believe that my father is with me in the same way that if I needed to make a telephone call to him and have him speak to me, that he's available. It's really about me slowing down and opening my own mind and my sensitivity to receiving the messages that are always there.
All right, well, Gloria, I have one last question for you before we start taking more calls and reading more emails, okay?
Sure.
I want you to give me one moment in all the seances that you've been to that stands out the most in your mind, and I want you to tell us why. I know you weren't expecting that question, but...
Yeah, it was the first seance because I was very raw from my father having passed, and I spent 6 weeks in the hospital with him where he kept asking for orange juice, and he was not permitted, because he had a breathing tube, to have any liquids whatsoever, not even water. And he really wanted orange juice, and I could not do it. And I thought sometimes about taking a straw and just dripping a few taste droplets of orange juice onto his tongue so that he could experience the orange juice, but I was warned that it could create an infection, and it was a very difficult challenge. I wanted to give it to him, and he begged for it in his way, and I couldn't do it. And when we went to the seance, my sister Susanna and I, the first message that came through was that you wanted orange juice, and you had no way of knowing that that's what he wanted more than anything.
So when I channeled him, I asked for orange juice.
Orange juice, and that was the confirmation, Stephanie, for me, even before anything else. That and it's so funny. I mean, of all the things somebody would want when they've passed out of the earth plane dimension, although I think of it as like the black keys on a piano, it's just really another vibration, like a different radio station. It's a different frequency. So they can feel, there can be a connection, but oftentimes people stay on their own wavelengths. And my sense was when he asked for orange juice that was just hilarious, because not only was that a comment on the confirmation, but it was a comment on my father that, yeah, I want orange juice. That's what I want. And it was just really funny to me. So that's what stands out in my mind. Just as funny as when my sister said that he spoke to her friend, the psychic, and explained how he popped out of his body and wasn't prepared, didn't know how to get back in. And my sister's friend Barbara said to my sister in comfort, I'm sure that your father, a very robust man, fully able, would not want to live his life sitting in a wheelchair and watching, television shows. And he spoke to her psychically and said, yes, I would have liked having chicken soup and watching TV. Yes, I didn't want to die. And he said, and furthermore, I don't believe in psychics, which was really funny to me. Right. So it was my father definitely came through in any way that he could. And he has this robust desire to participate in life, and I feel that he'll be around for a very long time, not just talking to us, but helping anybody and everybody through you, because he feels like you're a good buddy of his, and I think he'd like to help you.
We appreciate your story.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Lori, I guess thank you so much for telling your story on our show. I'm sure people listening were very interested in it, and again, thank you so much for being part of our show.
Thank you for having your talent and having the ability to share your talent and making your talent available in such an easily accessible way so that other people can develop themselves into a more sensitive person, to allow themselves to have communication in thoughts and memories and sharing love with loved ones who have departed or who might be in a state physically where they might be autistic or they might be in a coma, and to know that if somebody is not communicating in the conventional way, that's not a limitation.
Very, very welcome.
Thanks for coming on the line with us and having the chat.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And
thank
we'll
you, Chris.
speak with you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so
that was an interesting story, huh?
It sure was. I'd like to jump over to one of our emails, but before that, you can follow us on Blog Talk Radio under Second Sight NYC. There's a button that you can click to say follow. You'll know when our shows are scheduled. And I'd like to mention there's a call-in number. It's 347-637-1298 for anyone who would like a psychic reading. Or you can contact us on Facebook under my name, Stephanie Benetti, or Chris George Cirillo. And you could also go to the website, which is www.secondsightnyc.webs.com, and there's functionality within the website that you can leave comments or write us a note. You can have a chat with us.
Yeah, I'd like to say also, I really enjoy doing the email readings. So obviously we can't get to so many phone calls in 1 hour, especially when we have a guest and whatnot. So I'm asking you people, send me emails. You see that I can get a little bit more in depth with my readings when you give me an email, because during the week I'll take the time and I'll concentrate on it, I'll meditate on it, and I will come up with spot on stuff for you people. So send me emails. If you don't get through on the phone, email is the best way to get in touch with me.
One of the last emails that we have for tonight is Amy in Florida, and she wanted to know about her child's health.
Her child's health, okay. Yes, Amy. All right, well, I'm seeing 2 surgeries for your son, and one of them is going to happen within the next 6 months. I see a leak in one of the valves of his heart. I'm not sure which one. I wish I could pinpoint it for you. But if you're asking me about this, you probably have already had him diagnosed, so you know that there's, a leak in one of his valves, and you know which valve it is. I hope I'm going to put your mind and your fears at ease when I tell you that he's going to be fine. I could promise you that. I also see a very quick recovery with little, if any, complications whatsoever. I do see a potential for another surgery in the years to come, but again, I think he's going to be just fine. I don't want you to stress over it because stress, it just affects everything you do, everything about you. So try and stay positive on this because he is going to be okay. I have something else for you. You didn't ask me about this, but this came in so strong, I mean so quickly and so strong that I feel like it's, my duty to tell you this, even though you didn't ask about it. And what you people that are listening need to know is when my deal with the spirits, if they give me an answer, I have to give it, whether you ask me for it or not. Now, I'll figure out the best way to deliver that message, but I will deliver it. And I got a message for you, Amy. This is going to come as a surprise to you since you didn't ask me about this, but you're pregnant right now. I don't believe you know this yet, but I want you to take a pregnancy test tonight if you can. Go to CVS or whatever you have out there in Florida and go get one of those EPTs. Email me and let me know the results. I already know the results. You're pregnant, and I'm going to tell you congratulations. Now, what I want you to do is maybe I know you emailed me and said that you didn't want to talk on the radio because you're shy and whatnot, but I would love if you find out that you're pregnant, and I 100% believe that you were going to find that out. I would love for you to come on the show next week and confirm it or say, you know what, Chris, you were wrong this time, but I really don't believe I'm wrong. I feel so strong about this. It came into me so quickly and so powerfully, and that I know that it's true. So I believe you're pregnant. I believe it's that little girl that you've been waiting for, and and your son is going to be just fine. So I hope that really puts your mind at ease, because that's, my goal with you was to put your mind at ease, because I got from your email that you were so stressed out and so worried, and I understand that, your son is sick, but he's going to be okay. You know why? Because I said so.
Because you said so.
That's right.
Okay. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the upcoming events that we have in more depth than we've spoke about earlier. So in October 30th, there's a Halloween investigation at Bailey Seton Psychiatric Hospital in Staten Island. It's between 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m.?
Yeah, I would say about 2 a.m.
Would you like to mention what activities we have?
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. For all you wannabe ghost hunters, you will be a ghost hunter that night. I could take up to 40 people, I would say, 40 to 50. I'm going to take the first ones, obviously. It's $60 a person. You will be working hand in hand with our paranormal team, okay? And for those of you who look at our website, you will see the evidence we get is second to none. We are the best out there as far as I'm concerned.
Which the website is www.secondsitenyc.webs.com. And you can check out the photo gallery as well as the video gallery we have there.
Right. You'll be blown away by the evidence.
EVPs.
The EVPs are ridiculous. When you guys check it out, you will be absolutely blown away. And saying that, you will actually get to work with us, okay? Not for us, but with us, hand in hand. You guys are going to be doing the investigation. We're going to break our team up into 4 groups and divide everybody else within those 4 groups. And you guys are going to do the actual investigation of one of the most haunted hotels on the Northeast, okay?
Psychiatric hospital.
Psychiatric hospital. I'm sorry. I get crazy with myself sometimes.
You sure do.
Yeah. And the best part about this night is one of you will become a member of our team. We are going to choose as a team. We're going to sit down after the investigation is over, and we're going to discuss who we want to bring on our team.
I thought the best part was being on my team.
Well, that's for the guys. The guys are going to love to be on your team. I guess that's the best part for them. But
oh my,
I'm out of control, aren't I? But no, I think it's going to be really cool because, let's see what you got. Bring your cameras, bring your video, whatever you got. You'll work
preferably digital cameras, any kind of video equipment, flashlights, anything that would make you feel more comfortable. It's a significant time period. It's approximately 4 hours or so.
Right. So you have 4 hours to show us what you got, and whoever we feel was the best, we're going to actually let you come onto our team.
This invite will go out on Facebook. Aside from that, if you're not on Facebook, you can always just contact us on the Blog Talk Radio.
Correct.
Or any other method, the website, just to let us know.
Another cool thing coming up is the 29th, the night before, we're actually doing an investigation in St. Andrew Cemetery here in Staten Island. Now, what's interesting about St. Andrew Cemetery is the TAPS team, the famous ghost hunters there on TV, went there and did an investigation and got no evidence, nothing, not one orb, not one EVP of something in the background going, and that's all they got. So they deemed it not haunted. Well, about, I would say 2 weeks ago, Steph, is that correct?
That's right.
About 2 weeks ago, myself, Stephanie, and two members of our team, Alex and Beatrice, decided at, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night, just to go check it out for ourselves.
Because everyone goes to a cemetery at 11 o'clock at night, just a random evening.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of weird. Anyway, we were there, and we got the most amazing pictures. We got the most amazing EVPs. I mean, to just absolutely blow your mind. And you can see and hear them on our website. So this is going to be the cemetery that we're going to be taking people to on the 29th. It's probably going to be around 9, 10 o'clock at night. Again, you can contact us on Facebook and on Blog Talk Radio to inquire about that. It's not going to be expensive.
Well, more so than that, you can check out the photos on secondsightnyc.webs.com. You can see a bucket with specifically St. Andrew's photos, as well as on the EVP tab, you will see there are two EVPs in particular, one of which says the name Alex, and one of which says I was murdered. And those two in particular, they refer to the St. Andrews investigation.
And one other thing I want to say about this investigation is I'm actually going to be channeling spirit in the cemetery. Okay, I've only done that one time before, and I'll be doing it that night. So if you're interested in seeing me channel in the cemetery, come out. It's going to be a great night. I can't wait.
Another event that's coming up, and it's actually coming up sooner than those two, it's at Trent's Restaurant in Staten Island on Nelson Avenue, and it's a psychic dinner
and a reading
evening. And that's on September 27th, about 5 p.m.
From 5 to 11, but you got to call Trent's Restaurant to make a reservation to
confirm your spot.
And there's going to be myself and two other psychics, and if you want to get the reading from me, when you call to reserve it, make sure you tell them you want your reading to be with Chris George, and we'll do our best to get you to me. The last time we did it, it was a phenomenal night. It went from 5 to 11 o'clock. I wound up doing 37 readings that night. That was a huge amount of readings. They were only 10-minute readings, but enough to whet your appetite to actually call me for a spot-on 1-hour reading. But it was great, and the thing that's also great about it is Trent is a phenomenal restaurant. The owner there, Mike, is known all over Staten Island for his food, and
he's not paying us for this commercial.
No, he's not. He's definitely not. He's a great guy, and it's going to be a good night. So think about it. It's this Monday coming up, actually.
And the last event I'd like to mention is at Vanderbilt, which is on the boardwalk, which technically is around the corner from my house, by the beach, and there'll be a psychic fair, and I believe you quoted September, October. It's in November, so it's actually further out there.
Okay, November 14th?
I believe that's the date. Would you like to elaborate on?
Yeah, you just call the Vanderbilt Theater to come. I think it's, I don't know, like just not very, very inexpensive to get in. There will be probably about 15 psychics there. I can't speak for the other psychics. I'm bringing 3 or 4 myself. I can speak on their behalf. They're all very good psychics. One woman does numerology, renowned in New York for for her talent with numerology.
Speaking of, her name is Marilyn.
Right.
We should have her on as a guest in one of our future shows.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, she's really a really great person. And you just call the Vanderbilt on Staten Island, and you can get tickets to come. And, again, if you want to see me, just wait online, and you'll get to see me. I don't know how long the readings are going to be, but... do
you know how much it costs?
I don't know how much it costs. I know it's very inexpensive.
All right, well, this is further out in November. By the time we have another show, we'll get all the details as to the specifics.
A lot of things coming up. And again, if you want readings from me, all you have to do is go to our website, www.secondsightnyc.webs.com, click on the tab, and all you got to do is ask for it, and you'll get it. I mean, it's what I do. So
we had a caller earlier that was from Ontario. I believe her name was Wendy.
Right, Wendy from Ontario.
She wanted to know about her love life.
Yeah, she actually, I guess she couldn't hold on anymore because we went a little bit long with our guest, but she wanted to know about her love life, and I got to tell you, off the bat, I got right away that she's been in very bad relationships in her life, very bad, and the type where she always gave a little bit more than she was getting. And I think she's really tired of it. I think she's finally reached her limit of bad decisions and bad relationships and whatnot. I think things will get better. I think that there is somebody coming up. And Wendy, I hope you're listening right now, because I think by February of this upcoming year, which isn't so far away, I don't know how long you've been without a boyfriend, but I believe in February of this upcoming year, 2011, you were going to hook up with somebody that you've known for a long time. Now, when I say a long time, I don't feel that you're an older girl. I feel like, and if I'm wrong, and I apologize, but I think you're absolutely under the age of 30. I think this is somebody that you went to school with. I think you probably have dated this person before. If you haven't, you probably should have. I think you have a really good, strong, positive relationship coming up. I wouldn't, put so much effort into looking for this person, because he's just going to pop up. He's going to just pop up into your life like he's always been there. And when you see him, you're going to realize, this is who Chris was talking about. So, again, don't go looking for it. He's going to come to you, and it's going to be a chance meeting, and you guys are going to be real happy that you guys reconnected.
I'd like to take a call from someone who's been on the line. Their area code is 207. I'd like to see if they want a reading.
Hello,
you're on the line.
Hi, my name is Betty Jo.
Hi, Betty Jo. This is Stephanie and Chris.
And, yes, I know you from Facebook. Yes, I would love a reading.
Okay, you know it's from Facebook. Who are you on Facebook, so I know?
Betty Jo.
Betty Jo from Second Sight, right?
No, on just on the Facebook, not from Second Sight. But I did get an event invitation on my Facebook today.
Okay. So what do you want to know, Betty Jo?
I want to know what it looks like for my relationships. If there's anything coming in the way of relationships. I know several men, but I am not dating anybody.
Right.
Betty Jo, could you tell us where you're from?
I'm living in Maine, and right now I'm flying back to Maine tomorrow morning. I'm on vacation in Florida, visiting my mother.
Okay. Thank you.
So you're saying you're telling me that you know a few guys, but you're not dating anybody.
Right.
Okay. Well, there is a relationship coming up for you, and it's somebody that you know already. That's been a common theme tonight. I don't know if you noticed that, Stephanie, but 3 or 4 of the readings that I've given tonight, people are going to be reconnecting with people that they've known or they've dated before. I believe that you have a relationship coming up with somebody that you know. You know this person now, and I believe that you've known this person for quite some time. And you're probably thinking there's 2 or 3 people or 4 people that you've known for quite some time that you're probably interested in. I don't know which one it is. It's one of them. Do me a favor. Just tell me your birthday, please.
9/28/1957.
March. This March. Hold on a second. This March, you're gonna have your relationship is when your relationship is gonna start. I believe you know this person, and I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be long term. And when I say long term, I mean like 4, 5, 6 years. But it will be a strong relationship. Can it go further than 4, 5, 6 years? Absolutely will it. I'm not positive on that. If we spoke a year from now, I could tell you more. I could see further into the future. But I definitely see a strong relationship. I'm seeing March. Are you a ghost hunter?
Actually, I see ghosts.
You see ghosts?
I don't. I see them. I don't go hunting them, but I do see them. I see them.
You've never been on a paranormal investigation?
Well, only my own private ones, but nothing, like I see on television or read on Facebook or online. No, I do my own thing.
What if I told you I believe that that's something you should be doing? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I think you need to. I don't know if you know anybody who is on a team, but I think you need to search out a team, seek out a team, and try and become a member. I think you would be very good. I think you'll be right in your element, just so you know.
Oh yes, because I can walk into a house and I can tell you which rooms different things have happened in and so forth.
Well, I can tell you that paranormal teams are looking for people like you. I mean, that's what I do on our team. I just know. And people and paranormal teams need people that just know, that have that ability, because it helps them get the evidence that they're looking for. So I really think you need to seek out a team and see what you can do with it, because I think that's what you should be doing. But you know what? We have to get off the line. We only have 2 minutes left, and I'm getting a psychic message that I feel like I need to say right now, because I only have 2 minutes left, and I need to get this out on the air. So it was wonderful speaking to you.
And please keep in touch with us on Facebook. And
I will.
Oh, thank you so much for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Now, I know that you've been dreading this, Stephanie, but I told you I've been getting a message for the last day, and I couldn't get it properly, and I only have probably a minute and a half to get this out, so I'm going to do it. There's a certain psychic out there who does voodoo. I'm not going to mention her name, but she is a voodoo priestess. She rules by intimidation, and in the upcoming weeks we're going to be doing a show on frauds and fakes and whatnot, and I just want her to know that I'm going to expose you, so get in touch with me if you want to debate me on the show. You know who you are.
Okay, we will be on again next Wednesday, which is September 29th at 9 p.m. You could always follow us on Blog Talk Radio. You could also check out the website, www.secondsightnyc.webs.com. You take a look at our photos, take a look at our videos, EVPs. You can contact me on Facebook, Stephanie Benetti, BENNETTI, or Chris George Scherillo, SCHERILLO,
right,
or Sex Site Para, which is the group in which we operate as far as paranormal goes.
Right. And I just want to say that psychic I was talking about, she's listening right now. That was what my guides were telling me. That's why I put that out there. So give me a call. I just want to say what we strive for every single week and every investigation that we do and everything that I do with the seances and the healing and the readings is making the unbelievable believable. I just want to say, may the spirits guide you.
Thank you, and good night.
Jackie was listening. That's what it is. She was listening. She was listening.
We have 40 seconds left. You said May the Spirit guide you too fast.
I know I did. I didn't know what
First of all, she was an awful.
Rude. She wouldn't let us talk.